Welcome everyone to the Diary of a Cameraman. So today we will continue from where we stopped the last time, where we imported the same image with the raw and the JPEG. So today we'll start from understanding the basic tools that makes up Adobe Photoshop. In the first tutorial, I made us understand that we have more than 30 tools in Adobe Photoshop. So we're going to start with some basic tools and its functions in Adobe Photoshop. So this is actually, if you look up here, looking up here, you see 5J7A7137.CR2. If I click it, this is a JPEG. This is the raw image, and this is .jpg. This is a JPEG image. So let me use the raw image now. Before we start talking about the things you look at for whenever you're editing a picture, what are the things you have to look out for so you can have a perfect picture? Let's look at about 5 to 6 tools in Photoshop and its functions. So the first tool here is the Move tool. What is the function of the Move tool? The Move tool is a tool that is used to move objects, is used to move images, is used to move text around. Now this is actually an image, so if I press Ctrl J is to create a new layer. Like I told you in the beginning, this is a layer panel. So if I press Ctrl J and my move tool is already selected, if I drag it, you can see I've dragged my image is now into 2. So that is what the move tool is all about. I can press Ctrl Z to actually undo that. That is what the move tool is all about. Used to move objects. It's also used to move text. If I type a text and I want to move it around, this is my text. Layer. We have the horizontal and the vertical type text. Okay, let me use the horizontal. If I zoom in and I type a text here, I make it bigger, 100, and I click here, change the color to red, and zoom in. So okay, as you can see, it's already on there. For me to move it, I have to make it on the Move tool. Are you seeing it? So I'm moving only the text because it's selected here, selected in my layer. So that is the function of the Move tool in Adobe Photoshop. It's used to move object, text, images from one place to another, depending on what you actually want to achieve in mind. Then the second tool here, actually, we have the rectangular marquee tool. If I click my rectangular marquee tool, let's see the function of this. So if I now select here, I can use it to actually expand my image. For example, now there's space here. If I've selected it, if I right click and I press transform and I hold my shift and I adjust here and I press enter, you can see the function of rectangular marquee tool. So it has adjusted my background. For me. Are you seeing the function of rectangular marquee tool? It helped in widening my background, because if you look at it very well, here was the background did not get to this eye, so I have to expand it so that my background can cover up the image, so that my image can be covered up with the background. So when I hit my rectangular marquee tool and I click and I press transform and I hold my shift key and I've expanded it and I press enter. So that is the function of a rectangular marquee tool. So I press my Ctrl Z back to remove it and I click deselect, and it has gone out. So then here it will still have the elliptical marquee tool. It also performs the same function as rectangular marquee tool, but it's not in a rectangular shape. It is now in a circle shape. So if I also right click it and use my free transform, I can use it to expand. I see it, but it is expanding in a circle form. That is it in terms of photography. If I undo, click it back. Remember that there are different attributes there. There are different attributes. You don't just base on free transform. If you right click, you see select inverse, feather, select and mark, save selection. make work paths and different things which will make us understand the subsequent tutorials. I'm just trying to make us understand the basic functions of these tools. So I have to deselect it. Then here we have the lasso tool. See my lasso tool? Are you seeing it? It's for free. Let me say I want to have a pattern or something I want to draw. I can just use my lasso tool and work on that, and it makes work more easier for me. Maybe I want an artwork. I can use my lasso tool. This tool is one of the favorite tools to graphic designers or artists who makes use of Photoshop for artwork. You use a lasso tool and you have gotten what you want. You can deselect and select. But for we creatives, what I mostly use lasso tool is to select my image. I want to select the image. I use my lasso tool. I select my image with my lasso tool. Okay, so that is the function of the lasso tool. So if also I click here, I have the polygonal lasso tool. It also performs the same function. Here now, you seeing it? You have to click. Once you drag, you click before you can drag to the next place. You click before you can drag to the next place. You click, and you click, double click. Let me undo it again. Click here, you click here. Before you can go to the next place, you have to click. Then you now change, you click, change, you click, change, you click. Then you double click here. I've gotten what I wanted. So that is the select. If I click the select, that is the polygonal lasso tool. Then we have the magnetic lasso tool. I see how it works. Yeah, I see how it works. So you can also deselect. Then we also have here the object selection tool. If you want to select an image, it's loading. If you want to select an image, you use the object selection tool to select the image. I see it. It's loading. Don't be patient to load. Okay, so you can actually select this. Okay. We have the quick selection tool, you have the object selection tool, you have the magic wand tool. So if you click the quick selection tool, guide you to select your image. So you can see I'm selecting my image. I will carefully do my selection. Now, why am I selecting my image? In case I want to separate my image from my background, because maybe I want to work on my image separately or I want to work on my background separately, I have to select the image and separate it from the background. So I can actually work on the image separately, work on the background separately, so that what I'm working on the image will not affect the background. What I'm working on the background will not affect the image. So that is the function, that is the main purpose of selecting an image or a background, for you to work on it separately and get something done. So if I select this image now, and thus if I just select, you have to carefully select it. You have to zoom in and carefully do your selection. And I press Ctrl J to create a new layer of that image. Now if I use my adjustment panel layer, and I see, okay, if I use my adjustment, I see what is happening. Now, under the duplicated image, I had to use my brightness and contrast. I reduce my brightness. Are you seeing that? Reducing my brightness, it did not affect this particular image I selected. You only affect, if you see here, are you seeing what happened? You only affected the background and this other image I did not select. So that is the function of that particular tool. you use it to select your image or your background in case you want to work on it separately. So what you are doing on the image will not affect the background, and what you are doing on the background will not affect the image. Then we also have the crop tool. The crop tool here, as you can see, is used to crop your image to your required size. Every social media handle has a required size for an image. For example, photography, pictures in Instagram, the required image size is 4:5. So any image that is above 4:5, if you upload it on your Instagram page or your Instagram handle, it will resize it to 4:5 size of image. So this is already 4:5 size of image. So, and I want to post this image on my Instagram. So what I do, I have to make it kind of Instagram size, and I adjust it and make it look more better. Then I adjust to the size I wish to. I can change it here. I can change my size here. I can change it to 2:2. I say it. I can change it back to 4 here, and here 5 here. So all depends on actually what size of image I want to get, and I press my enter and it has loaded to 4:5. So this perspective crop tool also performs the same function for crop tool too. But here now you have to I see what happened. Okay, this perspective, the second one is perspective crop tool. Now, what this one does is also performs the same function as crop tool, but look at what happened here now. I have to select the place I want to crop. And I press enter. So what's going to happen? See, it has settled in that place. So the difference between the crop tool itself and the perspective crop tool is that the crop tool, I can actually influence the size of my selection to any size, but but perspective tool, I just have to drag it the way I want it to be cropped, and I do my cropping. So this is some of the tools in Adobe Photoshop. So I made us understand the move tool, I made us understand the rectangular marquee tool, the elliptical marquee tool, I made us understand the lasso tool, I also made us understand the object selection tool, the quick selection tool, the magic word tool, the crop tool, and the perspective tool. So these are the tools that made us understand in Adobe Photoshop. In the next tutorial, we'll continue from the next tool, which is the eyedropper tool, the color sample tool in regards to photo retouching for a creative. Thank you so much, and see you next time in the diary of a cameraman.